earlier with this build playing rec if you were able to watch that. If not, go ahead and go on over for some live play with it. Let's go on against a guy that's more of an outside shooter that kind of didn't shoot that well anyways, but you can kind of watch it. Obviously, we're here for a center build. To me, this is one of the dominant builds. A lot of people kind of sleep on it. So which pie chart we're going to do here is one that you probably wouldn't really think of. I like a playmaking defender. Now you can look here defensively. There's honestly not too many differences here other than a few attributes. Block goes up by 8. You know, your offensive rebound goes up by 10, defensive rebounds goes up by 5, and your interior defense goes up by 11. Standing dunk goes up by 6. So that's pretty much the only difference between the two builds, other than my pass accuracy and everything goes up. So it really comes down to your playstyle and what badges you want to have. Me personally, I'll get into the badges hereafter, and I will show what badges I would put on it. So going into this, I chose this pie chart that I'm on right now with the agility and the strength because realistically you're 7'1", is what I'm going to end up going with. And 44 vertical, I mean, it's not really going to change much. 56 is going to drop down in the 40s probably anyways when you make them 7'1". So it's not really going to do anything for you. If you box the guy out, vertical doesn't matter as much. Now, if you're smaller, then obviously definitely put that vertical up a little bit. But this gives me the strength and this gives me the +5 speed, which is going to make a pretty big difference. So now that we're here, I did go with the close shot all the way up. Now you don't have to completely follow what I do here. So standing dunk, I put all the way up. Driving dunk, I only put up to 50. I'll get more into that here in a minute. You can kind of play around with that however you want. This is just how I made my build. So I did nothing with the shooting because, to be honest, unless you're a legend and you got those 10 badge upgrades and everything, shooting with this guy is not really going to do anything for you. I mean, you can see here, he does go up to a 59. You boost him, it's a 64. He might make some of your shots. But even if you were to put all these up, in the end, it's not really that worth it. Not for 10 badges, not for what he's got, not for what he's capable of. So I did keep all those down. However, free throw, I mean, it's free baskets. You got to put that up, right? Now, for pass accuracy, I put this one all the way up. Ball handling, I only put up to 46. You guys will know why here in a little bit. It was mostly just the playmaking kind of that I messed around with here. So once you go to lower than 45, yeah, it's 45 I had it at. So once you go lower than 45 and you lose that playmaking badge, so you definitely don't want to do that. Interior defense wise, I do have all this up. Post moves I did put all the way up, obviously. Perimeter defense, I'm going to keep down. You don't really see as many shooting centers. I know a lot of people do, but realistically, if you have Intimidator and everything, you don't need perimeter defense up. You don't need clamps because you're only going to be guarding a power forward or a center. If you're guarding a guard, you've already got the upper hand on him. He's not going to do too much against you. Now, steal-wise, I did put this one to 52. You'll see more of that here in a minute. Of course, the rebounding, you got to have all the way up. I mean, you're a center after all. So, you'll see this is the build that I made. Now, going back up to the driving dunk and everything, it really doesn't matter your play style here. Personally, for me, I don't do driving dunks as much with a center. A lot of my dunks are standing dunks. I know a lot of centers that pretty much only do standing dunks. So to me, this build is phenomenal on the inside. especially once you hit 99 or anything like that. I've got him at a 91. Realistically, I'll show you some pictures of what I did with him at an 85 with no badges. He was pretty beast. Now, I've played center pretty much since 2K16 or so I've been around for centers. Steal at 52, I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be able to steal the ball if it gets too close to you, and I'm not even going to put that badge on unless I hit legend, which, me being in the Air Force, probably not going to hit it. Now, what I was talking about here, you can play driving layup up 10. Really doesn't matter. It doesn't do much with your badges. But, like I said, neither one of driving layup and driving dunk is going to help you too much. It's mostly just those two badges that you want. That's going to end up helping you. Because having that close shot and standing dunk. Now, moving on from there, I mean, obviously this doesn't matter. I chose build. I like my center looking big. Here's where I get into, I like 7'1", brings my standing dunk to a 90, brings up my interior defense. Yeah, it takes down your lateral quickness and everything. You guys can kind of choose what you want here, honestly. It doesn't really affect anything. It does bring down your vertical, but like I said, vertical is not as big of a deal. It does bring up your strength. Speed takes a little bit of a hit, which is why you wanted to go with that more agility earlier on. But honestly, in gameplay, 58's pretty good speed for a center, especially when you hit that +4 with everything, bring it up to a 62. You'll be able to keep up with pretty much any center, and this guy's guarded 6'10", 6'9", and had no problem. I take most of their energy anyways. So moving on to weight, obviously I go 290. It doesn't affect your strength or anything, it just affects that interior defense, so it gives me more of a lockdown like play style, because as you could see earlier, that interior defense was all the way up at 95. And once again, your driving dunk goes down anyways if you do this, so just another reason I don't really get into the driving dunk as much. Now, wingspan, you're a defender, bring that up. Your block's going to go up to a 92. If you remember, pure lockdown's a 95, so once again, you're not really making much of a difference here. 3-point mid-range is going to go down, but like I said, you're not really going to shoot too much with this build. If you do like to shoot, though, you can make this build pretty much however you want, as long as you're a playmaking defensive rebounder. Me personally, I chose glass cleaner with the one that I have. Just kind of helps me on the boards. I typically grab 20 to 30. I know on the one I streamed earlier, I think I only grabbed 16 or 17, which is still pretty much the same amount that the other team had. Rim protector is a really good one to have, but I get a lot of rebounds, so this just helps me get my takeover a lot quicker. So now I'll show you here in a test build. I do have this build made. He does not have all of his badges or anything yet. So I'll show you kind of what I plan on doing with this build. Maybe I'll show you some gameplay with him. So let's bring him up to a 99. Obviously, this does not give the right attributes, because we all know once you hit 99, you do get a little bit of a boost. Contact finisher. I do have gold. Consistent finisher. I'm going with silver. Putback boss does not need to be that high, so I have it at silver. I did want to use slithery finisher a little bit. I've seen a few centers have it, and it helps. So I figure putting it on bronze is probably a pretty good choice. And with relentless finisher, I mean I finish around the basket all the time, so having that on silver is just going to kind of help my stamina. Shooting badges, I mean, you saw me. The only thing I'm going to be able to put on here is maybe ice and veins. That's pretty much all I stick to with my center. Make sure I hit those clutch free throws. Now, here's the playmaking badge. These are the ones that I really care about. So, I go with Hall of Fame Break Starter. Now, this is a badge that realistically, you do not need at Hall of Fame. If you saw playstyle in my other game that I actually played with this build, you'll see that I launch the ball down the court, and normally with the guy in stride, If you have it in bronze and silver, you're still going to get it to the guy pretty easily with very minimal turnovers, if any, in a game. However, you're not going to lead him that well. Floor general, I like having on Hall of Fame. If you have somebody on your team that has a Hall of Fame, then obviously put that somewhere else. But for me, I don't run into many people with floor general, and I think it's a very good badge to have. Now, another one I have, obviously, is Dimer. You don't need it all the way at Hall of Fame. People are going to miss shots regardless of having it on Hall of Fame. But if you're playing with some guys that you actually know that can shoot, Hall of Fame helps out a lot. Especially for me, I'm a pass-first center. I grab the rebounds, typically have about 3 guys around me, and I'll pass it out, and someone's always wide open. So it just gives that extra boost. Now, as you can see, we got 6 available upgrades. I did have an 80 post spin, so I'm going to go Hall of Fame here. And I'm going to hit Unpluckable on bronze. Now, I've not actually tried post spin technician on Hall of Fame. I don't do it as often. But I do believe that is definitely going to help. I've got a few buddies that have it, and I mean, they pretty much just zip by people with a post spin. Now, Unpluckable on bronze, even at 40 ball control, don't get stripped that much with Unpluckable on. You can put it at silver if you want. Bronze and silver is not going to make too much of a difference. And if people try to go for a steal anyways, you can literally just dish it out. It's pretty quick. Or you can put the ball in the air. They're not going to be able to get it. Quick first step. I'm going to put on bronze. Kind of comes in handy, especially with post-spin technician. And just makes you a little faster. Defensive and rebounding. Now these are huge, especially for a center. So me personally, I go box Hall of Fame, rebound chaser Hall of Fame, rim protector Hall of Fame. I do only go Intimidator Gold because I don't see too much of a difference between Intimidator Gold and Hall of Fame. If you're playing good defense, you're going to stop them anyways. I do go Pogo Stick Bronze, Pogo Stick Brick Wall Bronze. Worm is going to be Gold, and Defensive Leader is going to be Hall of Fame. Now with Defensive Leader, obviously you get to see the percentages for each person's shot before it happens. So really great to have with this center, because now not only am I seeing on offense what percentage someone has of making a shot, now I see it on defense too. So constantly I'm seeing a percentage for somebody, and my teammates are seeing it too. Box on Hall of Fame is going to help me, because realistically, if you are going up against a center like me who's got Rebound Chaser Hall of Fame, Box Hall of Fame, and Worm, I mean, if you don't have Box on at least silver, almost every single time I'm just going to throw you out of the way. So I put Box on Hall of Fame. My strength and everything's up. You're not getting around me. Even with Worm on Hall of Fame, Rebound Chaser Hall of Fame, you're not going to move me out of the way. Rebound Chaser, I put Hall of Fame. Realistically, I don't need it Hall of Fame. I grabbed 20-something rebounds without the badge at all. The only reason that I have Rebound Chaser Hall of Fame and Rim Protector Hall of Fame is because snatch grabs. Or snatch blocks. I mean, that's really it. Rim Protector Hall of Fame obviously helps out. I don't think it needs to be all the way at Hall of Fame all the time, but I have seen a huge difference at Hall of Fame. So, but like I said, I get blocks even when it's not Hall of Fame. Rebound Chaser is a big difference when you have the badge, but if you know how to box out and everything else, you don't necessarily need this badge. You can use it elsewhere. I don't put Interceptor. I still get steals if you throw it at somebody and I'm right in front of it. It still won't get by me. So I do have Brick Wall Bronze. There's not much of a difference here. I've had Brick Wall all the way up at Hall of Fame. Yes, at Hall of Fame, people run into you and then just literally fall over. But they do the same thing on Bronze, to be completely honest. You could pretty much stop a guy in his tracks with Bronze. Intimidator, I already hit on that. Pogo Stick, obviously, if you're jumping, you want to be able to just kind of, well, pretty much just go for it again. And not to mention all the centers out there, you already know, you block a shot, it's probably going right back to the guy. Unless you're doing a snatch block, or you have somebody else around that's going to get it. Worm on gold, we already talked about. Just kind of helps you do that swim move around box outs more easily. So if you have a guy who's only got a bronze box or a silver box, you can push him out of the way. Defensive leader, we already talked about. All right, cool. So if you guys want to see more from this, just leave a comment, subscribe. I will say I will be streaming this player a lot, so you'll be able to see live gameplay of him if you want to see it. He does not have all these badges yet. He does have a lot of them, so you'll be able to see what he's like when he's actually building up a little bit. And I can actually show you too from my capture gallery here. This was a game I just played. He does have his badges right now. He's got the Hall of Fame box, Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser, Hall of Fame Rim Protector, and he does have Gold Intimidator. Now in this game here, I was obviously power forward. You might see this happen every once in a while, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, you can guard pretty much anyone with this build. So you can see it made my dude quit. I think it was a halftime that he quit. He had nothing. And me and the center just completely ripped through them. Realistically, the only reason this guy got 20 rebounds as a center, I started actually backing away towards the end of the game to let him get rebounds because, I mean, he had like 10 rebounds. Yeah, I felt kind of bad because he was a pure. So, anyways, you see kind of how he plays there. He had one turnover in that game. I do believe it was someone passed it to me, and I think it was one of those stupid ones where I was running, so ran right into the guy as he threw it, kind of deal. So it gave me the turnover. But if you want to see how this build does, kind of more along the lines of when it first started, here it is again. I was 11 for 13 this game. So this guy is a shooter, as you can tell, that went against me. Like I said earlier, I don't like shooters as centers. Realistically, you're going to get like a 70 three-point shot, which is not that great. I get it at 99, it's going to be better. You got all your badges and everything like that, but it takes a long time to get all that stuff. And honestly, if you got me on you, like, you're still going to have a hard time. So you're going to want someone that finishes on the inside a lot more. Yeah, you can make a guy who finishes on the inside and has like a 50-63, and it can work. You can do pretty much the same thing as a sharp. So there's really no point in making them. Like I said, on this one, it goes up to a 50-something. You can put a boost on it, and it works. Same thing. But look at that, 21 rebounds, 22 points, 6 assists, 2 blocks, and that was with no badges. That was when I was in 85, when I first made the build. This was a picture I took to send one of my buddies that said, hey, I made a new build. But yeah, like, subscribe, give me a shout out in the comments, tell me what you think, and have a good one.